Hey y'all, Ms. B, and I'm here to recap Salt Lake City episode 5, season 6, The Suit Man. But when I was watching this, I was like, who the hell is the Suit Man? Anyway, let's get into the things because I didn't recap last week. I had a lot of stuff going on and then I went out of town. But a lot of things I'm gonna talk about in this review. I'm gonna preface this from last week because I did watch it. We opened up with Whitney doing a little jingle. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is the same type of stuff that Shamia was doing in Atlanta. Anyway, she wants all the ladies to get together, have like some type of, calm, reset, release, floral situation. So she sends all the ladies flowers. Nobody can seem to understand her signature on the bottom of the flowers. But Whitney want us to know, like, she was a free Whitney, a carefree Whitney. And now she's not like that anymore. Her business has failed. She felt like she had to change because her husband, he lost his job. So now we're having a carefree Whitney, and she's bringing all the ladies to reset, recalibrate from Lisa's dismissed lunch. Anyway, so all the ladies get their stuff. All the ladies arrive at the venue. And then when Mary get there, Mary's like, This venue is has a bit like bad energy, has a lot of juju on it. Apparently the previous owner who owned this venue where Whitney is having her event for everybody to reset, rewind, and then get loose and, come back to their center. The man unallowed his whole family in front of the dog. And the dog went never say. I was like, I love Mary Cosby. So all the ladies get there. First we see Bronwyn, my favorite, come in like a floor. You know how Bronwyn does. Very, demure, couture. Then you see Meredith come in with a jean. I guess they were flowers. But according to Mary, she was wearing a virus. So I was like, oh my God. When they put everything on the screen, like, it does look like Meredith. What is going on with you? Like, girl, you a DJ now and you wearing clothes that look like a virus. So after that, then Lisa get on my nerves. Barlow arrives and tells her, keep the car running and keep everything on. I'm like, oh my God. And then the confession was like, they were talking about my kids. Girl, when nobody's talking about your kids, I am the number one person who will go off if somebody say a little bit, a slight bit, a itty bit about my kids. Lisa, nobody was talking about your kids. They were talking. Angie K was talking about the product you had in her her salon, that was not selling. Yes, that was your kid's brand, but they didn't say nothing about your kids. Anyway, let's move on from there. A lot of what the tension brings up between Lisa and Angie in this episode is based on Angie having a conversation with Meredith. And I want to say this, Angie K, this how I roll. If we're not friends no more, don't go running back and telling what I told you or you told me in secrecy to somebody else. Because you knew that Meredith and Lisa were good now. So you decided on the last episode that I did not recap, but I mean, you're not missing much of nothing to see it. The things that Lisa wanted you to do, like pull up information on Meredith. And apparently, obviously, whatever she told you to do must have been some of Meredith's tea, because we know how Meredith gets about the family and the husbands. Anyway, Lisa walks in. I clock Meredith's tea. I'm like, yeah, Meredith on that type of time. When we know she don't F with you, she gonna see you from afar. She ain't gonna say too much of nothing. But whatever Angie K told her on screen or off screen must have been some truth or must have been something there, because she was like, yeah, hey, Lisa Gray. Anyway, so yeah, I ain't like that. When you fall out with someone don't go back telling the other person's business or y'all secrets or whatever conversation that y'all had. Don't go back telling the other person just because y'all not good no more. At least, I'm sorry, Angie K ain't like that. That's a character flaw. Fix that. So all the ladies sit down, and Whitney wants to give a speech that, based on basically ever since she been on the show, her life has changed. She went from this wild, free-spirited person to, the corporate boardroom girl. And that is not who she is. And she was like, well, F it. I lost everything any doggone way, so I'm just going to move right along and be who I am. And you do that, Whitney, because I liked you when you was like that. I remember the episode, was it the first season? Well, girl, you were so drunk you couldn't even hold up a cake. You were just dropping it. Picking up, dropping it, picking it up. Like, go back to that Whitney Rose, okay? And blonde. So after that, she also lets the ladies know that she just brought in a psychic. Heather doesn't know what a psychic is. She's like, does he touch her palms? How does it work? Girl, a psychic means he can read your mind, okay? That's what basically this psychic is. His name is Terrence. And Mary ain't with you. And I'm going to tell you, as a black woman, and Mary brought up in the church, girl, we be real sketchy like, what? And what Mary said was true. Sometimes it don't be the positive, it be the evilness that speak out of them people. So you got to be real careful what kind of psychics you bring around your energy. So I was with Mary on that. So they all sit down, they get to eating. And they had like these little tiny waffle cones with like salmon in them. And Mary want to know, did y'all cook this salmon? Or is it tartar? I was like, girl, Mary Black like this. Because I'm like, girl, I would ask the same question. She said, I don't want no parasites growing in my stomach. Heather let us know, oh, no, girl, I ate the salmon. It's smoked. She was like, I'm eating the cheese. I'm sticking with the cheese. She ain't eating the salmon and drinking the wine. And all the ladies obviously didn't know that there is a lot of vineyards in Salt Lake City. And is it me? Every time they would bring up a conversation or say something, everybody was ignoring Lisa Barlow. And I was loving it. I cannot stand Lisa Barlow. Anyway, then they get to talking about, Angie gets to talking. She's like, I want to move in a farm, I want to, my house is so modern. Her house is cute. My house is so modern. I want to be out. I want to be where people are. Basically, she wants to have farm. Her daughter rides horses and she wants to, just be out in the wild or whatever. So Dinky Brittany is there and she clocks like, hold on. You listed your house? Girl, why you ain't tell me nothing? You know I'm an agent. And Angie, that's no girl. Sit down. I just met you. Okay? I just met you. And I'm using, I think she said her son's godmother's great grandfather. Girl, somebody she known longer than she knew Dinky Brittany. And then we start having this conversation about what zip code is the most prestigious elite zip code in all of the Salt Lake City. Still, Lisa Barlow is chiming in. Ain't nobody really paying attention to her. Whitney says hers. Everybody saying this. Dinky Brittany is like, mine is the elite. Whatever. Nobody cares. But I was like, yeah, everybody's kind of seeming to ignore Lisa get on my nerves Barlow. And then Brittany was talking her crap about how, Angie K had to listen for so long, how they went down on the price. But wait. The Osmond boy calls. So then we go into this conversation which was from the previous episode when Dinky Brittany told Whitney, I'm gonna go 30 days. 30 days without talking to the Osmond boy because it's affecting me and my children, me and my daughters. This heifer did not do that. Everybody asked, girl, has it been 30? Has it been 30 days? No. But I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him. Whatever. I'm going to talk to him. And then Heather started asking questions like, girl, what, where y'all been? What's the tea? What's up? Why you can't let this man go? What is going on? and she was like, and he took me to Vegas. She said, girl, Vegas is a road trip. And honestly, in Utah, it kind of is. And then Whitney let us know, girl, I ain't trying to bust your bubble, but the Osmond boy came around my house and told my husband, you ain't nothing but a gold digger. And she was like, oh, what do you mean I'm going to gold digger? He just pays for dinner and he buys me purses. Girl, if this is affecting your relationship with your child, I'm gonna be really serious right now, Brittany, because it seems like you're a lot older than me and I can clock it. Let that man go. He don't even want to be with you. It seems like y'all have a situationship where maybe, y'all hook up here now and then. It ain't that deep. So make up with your daughters, get over this man, and move the hell along. As I continue. So after that, Meredith wants to speak. How it is when Meredith wants to speak. But Meredith didn't do her, you can leave, or husbands and all. You know how Meredith gets. She didn't do this. She was like, I want to speak about what I was told about someone saying something about my family. And even Heather was like, you know what? Meredith usually goes the hell off when somebody talking about her family, and they pin to a scene when Jen Shah was there. Again, Jen Shah, I'm so surprised again that when Jen Shah gets out of jail, she's not gonna be a part of this show. Y'all keep bringing this lady up. I'm surprised. Anyway, Meredith was real cool and collected, but she was looking at Lisa. And nobody was saying nothing, but Lisa clocks, Angie went and told Meredith, basically, I was talking about her. We know she did. Lisa's a liar. You can say you got threads around here. Your facelift, they're not done. They're not done. Now, I said last time, girl, your chin was sagging way down here. Like, what? Why is your... Girl, I can't stand that Lisa Barlow. So anyway, the first person that goes into see the psychic is Terrence. Before then, the flowers keep falling. And I'm like... I'm real superstitious. The wind was blowing, but Whitney's flowers kept falling. And that was like the esque of the theme or whatever. Anyway, Dingy Brittany goes in to see Terrence. And he tells her everything that we didn't already saw on TV. Girl, leave the Osmond boy alone, make up with your girls, and get the hell on, bitch. Basically, that's what he told them. And then after that, we start having a whole back and forth with Angie and Lisa. And it starts to get on my nerves. To the point where everybody that was going there and talking to the psychic Terrence, in the background you hear Lisa screaming and Angie screaming. And I want to say again, Lisa, nobody said nothing about your kids. After that, Heather notices, what I just said, that Meredith did light work on Lisa compared to what she normally does when you talk about her family. We know how Meredith, don't you talk about Meredith's family. But in the meantime, in between time, Lisa and Angie are screaming to the top of their freaking lungs while everybody's getting their readings. And it's just a lot of everybody trying to calm them down. Whitney, Mary, everybody, the whole table. So Bronwyn goes in there for her reading. At first, I was thinking the Terrence man was maybe one of them people they bring on the show. All the Housewives shows has a psychic of some sort. But no, this time, he tells her something that, we didn't know. Her mother, we know from previous episodes, had, some type of brain cancer. And he tells her again, he's like, your mother is still sick. Essentially. I'm paraphrasing, but your mother is really still sick. And she's not going to tell you. And you need to just check in on your mother. Meanwhile, Angie and Lisa, they're screaming. So after Braulon walks out, nobody pays attention to the fact that Braulon is actually in tears, like devastated, like upset. Like he didn't tell her like some like walk in the park information. He told her some shit like she didn't really know. And then all of a sudden, between Angie and Lisa going back and forth about who spends money on about some payment to Greece or whatever, Angie pulls all out her black cards. Heather apparently had never seen a black card. I'm like, Heather, how the hell you never seen a black card? But something I ain't never seen before either was you can get a band. It reminded me of this show called Paradise. You get a band. It was a Prada band, but it's a credit card. It was like bing, 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 ever. And she was like, I got all these cards. Angie K just throwing them everywhere. And I got the wristband too, bitch. What's popping? Like she didn't say it like that, but I'm adding on. That was her energy. And everybody was like, Angie, girl, put up your cards, girl. Like, why you doing the most for Lisa? Like, I get on my nerves, bro. Like, she ain't even worth all this energy. And they start throwing these like immature slugs back and forth. And Angie K said something. I cackled. And she was like, your face is pulled back. And then she's like, what about my face, Lisa? What about my face? What about my face? What about my face? And she was like, it looked like you've been in a tunnel. Girl, I died. It came back to life. I was like, oh my God, it kind of does. Because whoever did her work, like, didn't fix this part of her. The part she needed fix was mostly down here. So they should have pulled it up. You know how all the girls, they get the facelift look. Surprised. Lisa's get on her nerves, bro. So you have this, like, saggy piece here. Still, nobody's checking on Braulon. Braulon just breaking down. Until Meredith's like, hold on, wait. Y'all shut up. Look at this girl over here. She's crying real tears. Nobody even checked on her. So after that, they kind of calmed down, but Whitney let us know there's no stopping Lisa and Angie. Because they're both going to want to have the last word, and they're both going to scream and yell to the top of their lungs. So it's impossible to get any word in. So then all of a sudden, in Son of Olive, Lisa yells out, what about the soup man, bitch? I was like, the soup man? I'm like, okay, so I do like soup. And then Mary hollers in the background somewhere, I'm hungry. And nobody knows, we never get down to the soup man, but I'm going to say, based on what she was saying, she was alluding to something that has to do with Angie K's husband. Because if we remember, Angie K's husband, they allegedly say is on a Zolo. Keep it on the Zolo. But I don't think nobody clocked it then. But I was like, she's alluded. Obviously, Lisa is so unhappy with herself, her life, her new face look, her new hair, her new everything. She's going to hell on everybody. So right now she's going to hell on Angie K. But Angie K is going to hell too. So I mean, they're going to hell together. Shit, burn, girl. I don't care. So the next reading is Lisa. And Lisa sits in there with Terrence, the psychic, right? And he starts moving his cards. Connect. And he starts telling her, girl, something in your soul ain't right. I can't sleep at night. About her husband. That's what it is going on with Lisa Barlow. Her marriage is falling apart. Not only that, she has a son that's doing his ministry. I'm sorry, whatever the Mormons call it. I think he was in Bogota, we heard last time. I don't know. I think it changed or whatever. And then he used astrology. I'm a Scorpio. I do not get along with Sagittarius at all. So, Lisa Barlow's husband is a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. Lisa Barlow is a Sag. he was like, y'all on different paths, different ways, different links. Y'all don't even go together. Y'all don't even make sense. Like, y'all on two different paths, and they pan to like 1 year earlier this, 1 year earlier that. They don't even mesh. It don't even go together. It won't work. I was like, girl, you ain't know that before you married that man? I could have told you that, bitch. Like, us Scorpios are different, and we, for some reason, I don't know, something about them. I'm not saying I dislike Sagittarius. I could never be in a relationship with a Sagittarius. And Lisa Barlow married a Scorpio, and she's a Sag. And that could be why I dislike her so much. Because she's a Sag. Moving right along. Lisa got all choked up. But she walks out to the ladies and says, you know, everything is great. Ben Affleck is coming to my house later. She didn't say that, but that's why she alluded. And even Whitney was like, Lisa only gives us a surface. We can clearly see you, the squat girl. We can see you, clearly see that. But you pretending like everything is all good in the neighborhood. No, that psychic Terrence, out of all the psychics that they had on these shows, other than the one that was smoking that fake cigarette on Beverly Hills Housewife, I digress. He was spot on, because I was like, something else is going on with Lisa other than I don't like her. She's dealing with financials, also that husband and that child being away in Mormon boot camp, or whatever they call it. Not trying to disrespect anybody. So there's a lot of going back and forth. Again, with Angie K and Lisa. Mary tries to calm it. Whitney tries to calm it. Everybody tries to calm it. It does not work. And Angie K cards are still everywhere. And in the mix of that, Angie K wants to pull out Tupperware and bring out all the things that Lisa ever gave her. Like Venus Keely that was never open, some other stuff, some books or whatever. A horse, because Angie K's daughter drives a horse that was in her reading. The horse is going to have an injury. Not your daughter, but the horse. And the horse fell. And it was like, girl, like, Angie K, girl, you doing too much. You're like, oh my God, both of y'all are too extra. Too extra for my brain cells. And then Mary tried to wrangle, you know, her and Angie K are friends for real. For real, for real. Like, not fake housewives friends. She tried to wrangle. You can see, like, look at Mary's face. She tried to wrangle in Angie K. Angie K wasn't listening. And then Mary was like, listen, girl, just because you ain't fooling with Lisa Barlow, get on my nerves right now. Lisa, get on my nerves, Barlow. Don't mean that, but listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Angie K didn't want to listen, so Mary was out. And they just kept going on and screaming and yelling. And then Angie goes in to see the psychic, and he tells her, guess what? I know about your business. Yeah, you're creating sunglasses. Because you know Angie K was wearing the big old sunglasses. And she was like, God damn. Don't nobody know this about me, my husband, and the people making these glasses. How did this psychic know? I need to know about this psychic named Terrence. Again, it was a lot of screaming, yelling, everything. Angie returns. It was just a lot of screaming and yelling. Eventually, honestly, the only two people that were making sense in the mix of the screaming and yelling was Bronwyn. I'm going to forever ride for my nigga. Bronwyn Newport and Mary. They both like trying to settle it down. Shut up. Like, calm down. Y'all both screaming. Nobody can hear anything what the other person is saying. Y'all going so low. It's not going to be a bringing back. Like, just shut up. Nobody will just shut up. So then after that, Mary is activated. And we know how Mary Cosby is when she get activated. Like, she's done. When she's done, she's done. They're done. They're done. And again, you know, Bronwyn is the voice of reason. It's like, y'all both just going too low. Like y'all just doing too much. And then Dingy Brittany gets a call from the Osmond boy. I don't know what's wrong with that child, Lord. And that lady probably older than me. You know what I'm saying? She calling her a child because she dingy, she acting. And forever, if you watch my channel, Salt Lake City was my first YouTube video. I have been calling him the Osmond boy because he acts like one. He acts like a boy, not a man. And I'm going to call her Dingy Brittany because she acts dingies. Go over there and worry about your children. And stop worrying about this man. But anyway, I love Bronwyn in this episode, and I love Mary for trying to keep everything together. And that is my recap on. Well, we never found out who the Salt Lake City Soup Man was. We never found that out. We probably never will. Because they just throw out stuff like insults. They know what they're talking about, but us as the audience, we don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. Most of the episode is just about this whole thing. And let me know your thoughts. Anyway, bye.